Hi, my name is Rhoda Olajumoke Fuja, and today I'd like to share my opinion, share my thoughts with you on the topic that I titled Finding Your Equanimity. I chose this topic because I've come to realize that emotions are really powerful energies, and if not channeled properly, they could actually ruin you. If not controlled, they can consume you. I've also come to realize over the course of time that these same powerful, all-consuming feelings are simply exaggerated feelings. These emotions that we feel that are so overwhelming and everything, they are over exaggerated, be it love, hatred, depression, loneliness, joy, jealousy, anger, happiness, whatsoever feeling, whatsoever emotions certain things make you feel or certain experience make you feel, they are usually exaggerated by us. We often make the mistake of exaggerating this feeling by either overfeeding them or overstarving them. I would explain that to you. As humans, we require food to eat, we require food to grow and survive. Same thing applies to our emotions. When we feed them, they grow. When we starve them, they could possibly die. But when we continually starve them, eventually they will die. So the whole idea is for you to know what emotions to feed and the ones to starve. For instance, love is a beautiful thing. Yes, we all know that. But there are times when, because of the way we feel when we are in love, we tend to overfeed this emotion, and then it becomes all consuming and it overwhelms us. That is why sometimes when the relationship don't work, some people lost their mind, some people just go completely berserk and they can't even pull themselves back together. I can assure you, all those things are just the work of the mind. If you can control your mind, if you can cultivate an emotional stability, your cultivate your mind to a point whereby it is not really affected by its exposure to emotions, I can tell you there's nothing you cannot achieve. And that is why I chose this topic, because it is really important. Personally, I have had to go through so many things in life. I've gone through so many emotions, name it. I've gone through it all. And that is why I can confidently share my thoughts and opinion regarding this issue, about how I am able to attain this level of equanimity in my life. Now, if for instance you are you're not a striking beauty, you see all the models and you want to wear bikini, you want to look good like them, your self-esteem is hurt because you feel you don't have that body, because you're obese, or so many other factors that is making you feel inadequate about yourself. What do? Do you go ahead and start thinking like, I hate all skinny girls, can you see that girl, and you start beefing. I don't want to use the other word. And you start beefing, you start hating, you feel jealous, and that turns you into a bitter person. Look, if you keep feeding your hatred, your contempt, your low self-esteem, and whatsoever thing you're feeling because you don't have, or whatsoever feeling or whatsoever thing you feel towards those other people just because of the things they have that you desire, however you relate with it, do not feed the negative emotions. Feeding negative emotions will strip you out of your human identity. It is going to turn you to a bitter person entirely. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was in a relationship for 6 years. The relationship ended in 2014, but even before we arrived at that stage when we decided to go our separate ways, a lot of things had happened during the course of that period, and I was an innocent, naive, sweet little thing at the beginning. But over the years, I changed. I became a very bitter person. I was so bitter that I couldn't love me. I was so bitter that I could not even control myself. I can't tolerate myself. So tell me, how can someone else tolerate me? I had to realize that all those things that I'm feeding, all those things that I'm just, getting all worked up about is something I can sit down, analyze, and find my balance. That is the most important thing in life, finding your balance in every situation. That is why I want to share a few tips about how I was able to find my own emotional stability. There is one thing I can assure you, and I say this from experience too, that you will always be you'll always be a work in progress. I am still a work in progress, but I can assure you, over the 2 years that I've been researching and studying how human emotions affect our lives in all areas and relationships and the rest of it, over those couple of months, I've become a better person. I'm in better control of my life, and I realize it's not so difficult. The only thing is for you to know your balance. Identify every emotion that passes through you, or everything you feel. Be able to identify how you feel. When you identify how you feel, the positive and the negative emotions, you'll be able to know, or you will know, which one to feed and which one to stop. So let me quickly share with you the few steps or the few things that I did that made me attain this level of equanimity in life. First of all, always have a conscious state of mind. Always be conscious of the things that you feel. This will help you identify positive emotions and negative emotions. And when you're able to identify the things you feel, then you will know the ones to feed and the ones to stab, rather, just like I said. Sometimes feeding love can be unhealthy. When you feed love too much, it becomes unhealthy. For instance, excuse me, for instance, if you're in love, and I always use the example, I always use love as an example because it is like the greatest of all emotion. It is the the only feeling in the world that has the power to break and make you. So that is most likely going to be my very strong example most of the time. So now let's say that you're in love. It is a beautiful thing, we all know, but then it could also get unhealthy, and it becomes unhealthy when you begin to feel like you cannot live without that person. Look, honey, nobody is indispensable in life. So when you start living your life like you cannot do without this person, this person is my whole life, I will die without him, I will die without her, and the rest of it, you need to pull your brakes, because you are nursing, or you are feeding unhealthy emotions. you when you feel that way most of the time, from experience too, you become a bitter person because of the way you feel, because you don't want to lose that person. You hold on to them so tightly that you begin to feed your insecurities, you begin to nag, you begin to question, your jealousy goes over the roof. When you see your partner with another person, you just want to die because you feel that person is there to threaten your space. And eventually you're going to drive your partner away. You're going to drive your partner away because of all the craziness you're developing, all the craziness as a result of the way you feed your emotion. So when you begin to feel that way, we all do at some point in our relationship, that is when you need to pull the brakes. I'm not asking you to to um turn off your humanity switch, or don't feel for that person, but do not encourage unhealthy feelings. Don't You don't give anybody, yes, that's the word, you do not give anybody your emotional independence. It is yours. You have to stick to it. You have to control it. Only you can control it. So when you're at a conscious state of mind, you have your emotional independence. No man wants, or nobody wants to be with a nagging over a jealous, insecure partner and the rest of it. Nobody wants to be with them. So, but when you're in control of the way you feel, your partner will respect you because of the way you're able to find your you reach an equilibrium at every stage. So now the next thing I want you to do is, of course, like I said, after you identifying the emotions, positive or negative, you need to know the ones to feed and the ones to starve. Sometimes you don't really need to starve hate, yes, and sometimes you don't really need to feed love. The other thing is always have an indifferent attitude about everything. There's this slogan, I don't know, but it's a popular saying that you hope for the best but prepare for the worst in every situation. I can tell you, if you live your life by that set of rule, you won't take life too seriously. Things will not break you down more than they should. Of course, I'm not saying you will never feel sad. I'm not saying that you will not feel some certain things. You will feel them, but it will not overwhelm you. You will be able to control how you feel. I have nursed myself back to health, or I've nursed my heartbreak back to health in a matter of weeks. Yes, because I develop a conscious state of mind on how to do it. So when you think about heartbreak and the rest of it, honey, it is not as bad as that. It is not as hard as that. It is all here in your mind. Finally, too much of everything is bad, and it is also applicable in this situation. When you, like I said, when you begin to feel like you cannot live without someone, that is when you need to pull your brakes and find your balance. So there are some times you don't okay. Now let me quickly say this: the emotions are relative, and depending on you, what is a positive emotion to me could be a negative one to you. Sometimes jealousy can be healthy, but sometimes it could also be dangerous. When you become overbearing and over insensitive and the rest of it, it is unhealthy. So it is relative. What sometimes the feelings that I will stab may be the ones that you should feed. That is why you need to know yourself, understand yourself, have a conscious state of mind that helps you identify the positive and the negative feeling. Like they say, gaining mastery over your emotion is the best art any man can master. So always try to find yourself, or always try the to cultivate that mindset that is unaffected by external exposure or internal exposure to emotions. When you can find your balance in that area, I can assure you there is absolutely nothing you cannot do. It will improve your relationship with your partner. It's going to improve your relationship with your family, with your friends. It's going to make you a better person, make you feel better about yourself. You should learn to love yourself more than any other thing in this life, and that is one of the feeling you have to keep feeding every time. Yes, I said every time, but at the same time, you should know that some people love themselves too much, they become really selfish. So when you love yourself so much and you are becoming really selfish, you should know that you need to start considering someone else. I can go on and on trying to, paint and or talk about different scenarios of how we feed or stab emotions, but I can assure you, when I come another time to discuss certain things with you, I'll be more articulated. This is my first video, by the way. This is my first official video on YouTube talking about these things, but basically my own goal is to help people find their emotional stability. Trust me, it is not as hard as they make it out to be. And until I come your way again, always have a conscious state of mind. It goes a long way in helping you in every area of your life. Thank you very much. My name is Rhoda once again. Bye.